Alright, yeah, guys. So we're continuing now to this portion of the story of Persona 4 Arena, yeah, guys. So yeah, let's do this shit. The limousine, transport truck, and multiple security cars reached the airport without any incident. The cargo may be dangerous, but according to the records, it was kept safely in storage for the past 10 years. Unless it was worthless to the average person. Because of this, the people involved in the security don't look tense. Kirijo-san hands her servant her travel bag. It's almost as if she's simply going on vacation.
Yakushima.
The plane's destination is to one of the southern islands. I'm sure it'd be fun to go with everyone. I realize what I'm thinking, and have to laugh to myself. A year ago, I never would have considered that it would be fun to spend some time with others. But I can't help but think that way now. Soon they'll begin moving the cargo out of the truck. So yeah, I clear my mind of dreams and look back to the truck. We pass through the gate for large cargo shipments. The shipment is in imposing metal cases, but among all the other shipping containers, it doesn't attract much attention from the airport staff. It's not long before the final case is unloaded from the truck. It's obviously different from the rest. It's covered in what seems to be heavy industrial grade steel. It's about a meter wide and bored and 2.5 meters tall. Jesus, that's big. It looks like something very special is in there. But even if someone was targeting the shipment, it would be impossible to steal that. Four men in suits slowly tip the case sideways to place it on the cart. Seeing it on its side reminds me of something. It looked like a coffin. The moment I realized that, a shiver runs down my spine. It does look big enough to have room for a person to lie down in it. Could there really be a person inside it? Could it be that this tight security is not to prevent death, but to keep the cargo from escaping? No, how can I imagine things like this without any proof? I shake my head to clear it of these pointless thoughts. I'm, am I just shaken because I heard this has something to do with shadows? Eventually, the check-in process is complete, and the announcement to begin boarding echoes through the airport. I relax a little and relieve that nothing has happened up until this point. Once the plane takes off, the only thing in our way is the sky. I had to put an earpiece tuned to police radio to keep up with the current situation. So far, nothing was out of the ordinary. Kirijo-san's group finished checking in and had boarded the plane. The cargo should be loaded soon. After I supervise that, I, I'll check in, and just as I think that, an urgent voice jumps into my head.
The aircraft's law code has changed to 7500.
7500.
I thought I have trouble mentally shifting gears after a long period of inactivity. I never imagined I would hear that number with my own ears.
7500? A hijacking?
Is the plane I'm investigating being hijacked? That can't be a coincidence. But could this have been set up by the police or the Carrillo group? No, there's no benefit for either of them to get involved with the general public. If that's the
Is
case,
it the cargo they want?
they really is someone after the cargo. Wait, if they're after the cargo, why hijack the plane? If they're not trying to steal the cargo, they could be after Carrillo-san. No, that doesn't feel right. Hijacking isn't an efficient method to carry out a kidnapping or an assassination. If they have the time and the resolve to pull this off, they would be far better off trying to take over the plane in mid-flight. I can't figure out their objective. Why could they do something that attracts so much attention? Attention? This is a very particular time to attempt to take over the plane. Very particular indeed. Hijacking before departure forfeits the biggest benefits of hijacking. But at the same time, all normal airport operations will come to a halt while everyone turns their focus on the plane in question. The airport will naturally stop loading baggage onto the plane while this quote-unquote hijacking goes on. It's the perfect distraction. So they are after the
If
cargo.
that was the case, the hijacking is only a decoy. But would they really risk their lives hijacking a plane over one piece of cargo?
As I think, I scanned the area from my viewpoint up in the boarding area. I see a van that had been parked near the cargo area suddenly peel out. A suspicious departure at this time. I have a bad feeling about this. But the cargo was just unloaded right in front of our eyes. I didn't see anyone steal it. Hold on. The four men in suits with the hand cart. I don't see them. I lost track of them in the rush of activity after the hijack call. I grind my teeth and interrupt the radio call.
This is 002, over. A suspicious vehicle is leaving the scene. Stay in pursuit. It's a large vehicle, about 2 tons. License plate.
Also, those four dudes were the ones that were hijacking the shit. I hear someone confirm with Roger, but there's shouting and confusion going on in the background. I'm unsure if my intentions have been understood. I run across the airport by myself. I need to grab hold of these people's tails, even if only to get a few hairs. Of course, there's no way I can catch a vehicle on foot, but I have a plan. I run down the escalator and bolt for the passenger pickup area at the arrivals lobby. I looked around outside and there it is, just as I thought. A suspicious vehicle was coming this way. The airport's road layout is a loop. After leaving the departure lobby, cars must take a turn and curve back around to arrive to the arrival lobby before being able to reach the surface streets. I hide in the crowd and wait for the van to get close. And it passes by. I throw a small sticky lump at the van. Luckily for me, it strikes and sticks low on the van's side. There's a compact transmitter in there. You have to be pretty close to pick up the signal. It's better than none. I take my hat off and wipe my forehead. The pedestrians around me begin to stir. Everyone stops and stares at their smartphones. I didn't need to look. I knew. The first news of the hijacking is hitting the media. I put my hat back on and put the brim low. I'll have to be careful not to let all the information flying about confusing me. I keep my guard up as I quickly walk back to the departure lobby. Another 45 minutes pass without any more clear information coming through. There's chaos on the radio and people are in a panic. But after an hour, the confusion suddenly stops and a shocking report comes in over the radio.
Personnel on scene. The suspects have been apprehended. The hijacking is over. I repeat.
They dealt with it so soon?
Wow, that was fast. Though some passengers were ill, there were no casualties. As far as I know, the hijackers didn't even make any demands. It's hard to think that the police could have negotiated with them. But on the other hand, there's no indication the special assault team had stormed the plane. Did the group surrender now that their decoy objective was complete?
What's going on here?
Just then, radio call comes in directly for me.
Operator to 002, over. The hijacking has been dealt with, but the transfer must be cancelled. The whereabouts of one piece of cargo cannot be confirmed. All indications are that it has been stolen.
Then that vehicle earlier. Are you still in pursuit?
We're tracking it through the end system. Head to the guest room immediately so we can discuss our response.
Looked like my call to report that suspicious van had not been a mistake.
Understood.
Soon after, the involved parties were gathered in the VIP room. Kirijo-san and the police are talking hurriedly, but because there is a lot of confidential information being discussed, it was only expected that there would be some difficulties in communicating. At any rate, the van on the run can be tracked through the end system. The hijackers were handed over to the airport police, while those of us who knew the truth about the cargo were moved to one of her buildings.
That was a very tidy operation. I thought it would take at least half a day.
To put it delicately, we had someone with special abilities handling this. Then again, though we prevented any harm from coming to the hostages, we lost the cargo.
Nothing for it, I suppose. Who would have expected an entire hijacking to cover up the theft of some cargo? I must apologize to you as well. I was the closest at hand when it happened.
No, you did more than enough. It's thanks to your sharp eyes that we're able to track the suspicious vehicle now. I'm impressed that you realized in all the chaos that the cargo was the true target. You even spotted their getaway truck.
Thank you. Our next step should be to interrogate the suspects in custody, and
Sadly, it won't be that simple. We haven't heard much yet, but it seems they're having unexpected difficulties with the interrogation. It will take some time.
if they were prepared to risk their lives for this operation, I suppose they won't break so easily.
We made an error in judgment. We were too focused on preventing the item itself from doing any damage.
But since they targeted something so unusual, that should narrow down the suspect pool.
I can't deny it's possible that someone connected to the Kirijo group is behind this. Thank you for your assistance, Shirogane. I'm sorry to have involved you in this mess, but the professionals will take it from here.
Professionals, in other words, she plans to investigate this herself as a shadow operative.
Does that mean my work here is done?
I'm afraid so. We do value your cooperation.
This is a bit of a pickle. The Kirijo group and the police want to keep this under wraps. That is, they cannot open a public investigation. On top of that, the shadow operatives are technically an organization working for the police, Lieutenant Cali. There's no room for freelancers here. Therefore, by my reasoning, there's no need for me to be involved in the investigation any further. Refusing to back down, however, would only draw attention. With no other choice, I decided to take my leave. I must leave. I must have been. It must. Shit. Let me start again. It must have been chaos at the office. Despite the unusual events, the man who hired me has not yet gotten in touch with me. I entertained the thought of returning home to Inaba, but luckily enough, I bought enough luggage for a short trip out of town. I decided to stay the night at a business hotel near the airport and wait a while for my client to contact me. Time passes. At 9 o'clock, I finally receive a phone call from the man.
Things have taken an unexpected turn. This case is under the jurisdiction of the Shadow Operatives now.
That will make it very difficult to continue my secret investigation.
But right now, you're the only one we have who's gotten that close. We heard you earned Kirijo's trust after the hijacking. We'd like you to keep up your investigation. We're currently making arrangements for you to pick it up again in a natural way.
What are you gonna have me do? I will not act as a spy.
I'll be in touch later.
He hangs up without waiting for my reply. What the fuck? What an asshole he is. I sigh. I feel a weight in my heart. This has a high possibility of turning into a private investigation from the shadows. Pretty much a polite way of saying cooperative espionage. Like, what the fuck does that word even mean, bro? If I'm to take on this job, I need to have some sort of plan. At any rate, I cannot plan my movements without knowing how the situation is progressing. It would be far better to prepare for tomorrow instead of getting worked up with worry. I read the newspaper and watch some of the TV coverage of today's events, then go to bed early. The day passes, and even by the night of May 2nd, the man must have not contacted me again. It seems the police are having trouble zeroing in the unsuspicious vehicle. Considering the skill with which the crime was pulled off, I wouldn't be surprised if that van was dumped somewhere and the cargo loaded onto another vehicle. Going through all possibilities is just a way to kill time. But that was the only thing I had to do. Nothing happened until the sky began to darken as the sun went down. My phone finally rang, but surprisingly, the name on the screen brought a smile to my face.
Yes, Shirogane speaking.
Hi, Nebuchadnezzar? Oh, I'm not interrupting your work, am I?
No, it's quite alright.
Oh, GA.
Call so late? I wanted to at least give it one more shot about tomorrow.
That's right, so much has been happening that I completely forgot that the school holiday starts tomorrow. And of course, we're supposed to have a reunion with you, Senpai. When he visits from the city tomorrow, I was supposed to be able to meet up with them. I didn't imagine that I'll be stuck here for 3 days thanks to the attempted hijacking at the airport. But since I've undertaken the job, I have obligations that I can't just abandon. I'm starting to actually feel some anger towards whoever the culprit are.
Sorry, but it seems I still won't be able to make it. I'm actually not in Inaba at the moment, to be honest.
Oh, yeah, you mentioned that. Oh, then I guess you can't check even if it rains.
even if it rains?
Oh, nothing. Just talking to myself.
What was
It's
that?
okay now, Dakun. I know there are people who'll be in trouble without you. You need to stay there and help them out.
Yes. Well,
Help them out, huh? It irritates me to know that I'm going to do this it's pretty much spy work.
it really is a shame. Give my regards to Senpai and the others, won't you?
Will do. Good luck with the job.
Hang up the phone. Seeing my dear senpai again. I feel that's much more important than a job with an uncertain outcome. I feel a little sad that I'm going to miss it. Maybe I should just turn the case down and make a surprise visit
I
tomorrow.
wonder if any train would make it in time.
But it looked like the case is not about to let me leave. Just after my talk with Chie-san, I was preparing for bed. The public safety official called me again.
It seems we may be back on for the secret investigation. Mitsuru Kirijo just requested our cooperation. We agreed. A detective by the name of Kurosawa will be heading out tomorrow. We want you to accompany him to the rendezvous point.
When I asked about this Kurosawa fellow, I received an unanticipated answer. Apparently, he had helped Kirijo-san's activities on his own while he was a constable. Even though his superiors didn't understand what Kirijo-san was up to, he followed his own instincts and helped her to protect his town. Normally, he would be punished for this, but the situation took a 180-degree turn thanks to the establishment of the shell operatives. His knowledge has been invaluable, and rather than being disciplined, he has been promoted to plainclothes detective.
Kurosawa is willing to leak you whatever info he learns about the Kirijo group through his cooperation with them.
I'm surprised he agreed to that. Hasn't he assisted Kirijo-san and her group in the past?
I'm afraid that's something you'll have to ask him about, although he seems to have his own agenda.
I confirmed several other details before ending the call. Detective Kurosawa. If he's working with Kirijo Group, it could be something of a problem. But if they have information to leak, that means they must have located the vehicle in question. Still, considering how long it took them to find it, I may be in for a long trip. Well, I'm going to be sad now. I shrugged to myself. Next day, May 3rd, I meet with Detective Kurosawa. I expected someone who looks shadier, but the man appeared hardworking and honest.
Kurosawa.
I'm Naoto Shirodani. Thank you for your assistance.
I've heard rumors about you, Ace Detective. Let's get going.
Where we make our green brief, and I get into Detective Kurosawa's car. Private investigation in a location that I have no prior knowledge or experience of. This wasn't a pressing job in the first place, and the addition of more and more unknown variables is only making me more displeased with it.
You seem pretty listless.
Oh no, I'm fine. Where are we headed, by the way?
The place where they found the getaway car from the hijacking. A town called Inaba. It's a small place with an odd history. Just had a bizarre serial murder case there last year.
She is going to Inaba after all. Bro.
Inaba.
Oh, she is going there after all. Ugh, I can't stop with the surprise from showing in my voice.
That's your hometown, right? Isn't that why they're sending you?
I'm at lost for words, but Detective Kurosawa continues instead, waiting for me to
The
reply.
request I got from the shadow operatives was to assist in gathering information about those murders. They want me to meet with a supervising detective of that case and ask him for the full story. Not only are they part of public safety, they're an unofficial unit. They can't come to the district police for information.
Why him? Is his case related to the robbery in some way?
Public safety is sharper than you might think. They do basic reviews on all cases to see if shadows were involved. Inaba is on their watch list now. With that cargo being brought there, they naturally suspect a connection between the cases.
If there is a connection, then it might be related to our case. I begin to have ominous thoughts, and my expression darkens. But Detective Kurosawa doesn't probe into that topic. Perhaps he's the type of person who doesn't judge people based on evidence, but gets a feel of them through conversation and actions. How am I reflected in his eyes? I can't help but wonder. Detective Kurosawa goes inside the nearby police station while I wait in the car near the junkyard. The familiar sights of Inaba seem strange somehow. The detective in charge of this case must be none other than Dojima-san. Detective Ryotaro Dojima, of course, I'm familiar with him. He's not just a fellow peace officer. Dojima-san is acted as Yu Senpai's guardian when he stayed in Inaba. I feel like I'm betraying him as well, and can't stop myself from sighing again. Soon enough, Detective Kurosawa steps out of the station. I thought he was coming back. But halfway to the car, he turns and walks to the junkyard. I wonder what is he doing. I stick my head out the window and try to track him. There's another car parked behind a pile of junk. That distinctive grill style. That's Kirijo-san's limousine. I hurriedly pulled my head back into the car. That's right, Detective Kurosawa came here to cooperate with Kirijo-san. But still, to bring me along and park so close to hers is, then again, very unnatural to park far from the renovations point. Detective Kurosawa made the right decision. I calm down and slide into the rear seat. I keep my head low. Still, Kirijo-san uses that black limousine while undertaking her shadow operative duties as well. That car sticks out like a sore thumb here in Inaba. Hell, it's distinctive anywhere in Japan. Why would someone as clever as Kirijo-san take that car on a special mission like this? Does she have some profound reasoning behind it? After a while, Detective Kurosawa finally comes back to the car.
Kurosawa-san, may I ask you something? Why are you working with public safety?
You're asking that now? I thought that would be your very first question.
After wiping his dry smile off his face, Detective Kurosawa turns to me with an incredibly serious
You can
expression.
spy on Mitsuru Kirijo and her shadow operatives to your heart's content and never find anything suspicious. But for that to be understood, at some point or another, everything she does has to be investigated to eliminate those doubts. In which case, it's better someone like you do the investigating than someone official who will never understand. That's all there is to it.
So he does have his reasons
Thank
after
you
all.
for your cooperation.
I'll leave the rest in your hands.
I exit the vehicle and Kurosawa takes the car into the highway and speeds out of sight. He has no doubts whatsoever regarding Kirijo-san's activities. To be honest, I'm inclined to agree with him. I can't jump to conclusions without any evidence. I use heaps of junk as cover to sneak close to the limousine and watch. Not long after, I see two people exit the vehicle. One of them is Kirijo-san. However, unlike when I saw her at the airport, she's wearing equipment likely suited for combat. The other person looks strange.
Is that the fabled humanoid weapon?
There was information about a humanoid weapon mixed in all the data about I had about the creator group. When I first saw it, I was confused, but I had that had to be what was standing in front of me. It's, it seems natural but lifelike. But there's no denying that it's an artificial construct. It seems that the rumors of an unorthodox anti-shell unit were true, but another man comes to join them soon. He too was dressed in outlandish attire. He was shirtless and wore a red cloak like a desert nomad. He's the perfect example of someone who ought to be detained for questioning. I compare his face to the list of pictures of the people involved with the situation. While his taste of clothing has changed, I believe that this man is Akiko Sanada. I can't imagine what would possess him to go about dressed up like that, but I speculate about their actions. Yeah, the group is known as C's, bruh. Yes, C's. The group that's in Persona 3. What business do they have here in a junkyard? There's nothing here but pile of broken household electronics and abandoned televisions. Then it hits me. Detective Kurosan had told Kirijo-san about last year's incidents. And of course she has prior knowledge of personas and shells. Then no doubt she heard of the idea of entering the TV world. After all, it appears many times in the testimony of the killer from last year. Dojo-san may have disregarded it from being too far-fetched, but Detective Kurosawa must have caught on. I take a closer look. There's a mountain of old television sets. Victims of the last year's switch to digital broadcast.
They're not planning to enter a TV from here, are they?
Even as I say that, the mechanical girl already has her hand sticking into the TV screen. It's exactly as I thought. The mere fact that they are testing what they heard so recently cannot bode well. Uncertainty crossed my mind. The three of them are clearly preparing to enter the television. Should I blow my cover and warn them about what they're doing? If they enter, they may not be able to leave. But the other world should no longer be dangerous anymore. And I heard from Yosuke Senpai that he asked Teddy to leave the exit TV out just in case. If they're Persona users, they should be able to handle the shells. They shouldn't be any pearl, but however, Kirijo-san made a decision faster than I could.
The other members will wait here in the car.
Yeah. If we all barge in and something happens, we'll be devastated.
Now that you mention it, at least one of us should be staying behind as well.
I am not staying.
Us three will be plenty. We'll end this in a flash. No problem.
The same as always. Although, we have no idea what might be waiting for us on the other side. Don't get careless.
Right.
Situation. It brings back memories.
Alright, so C's enters the TV world, bruh. Wait, what happened to Naoto though?
Why
Oh,
did
she's
you
just
leave?
sitting there.
What's going on?
Stand there blankly.
Is the stolen cargo inside the TV?
Should I chase after them? If I turn back here, I may never be able to find the three of them again. And if that happens, the truth about the case will be lost forever. If her property was placed onto the TV world, it means that whoever stole it knows the truth about last year's events. If that's the case, then I can't ignore this. No matter what my assigned task is. Plus,
Well, if they're determined to enter the TV despite not knowing the risks, I can hardly allow cowardice to prevent me from following.
yeah, I best suggest you follow them, Naoto, bro. I realized that the straw bringing the cows back is not logic but my pride, and I smile to myself. But my mind's made up. I stand up, look around, and then step aside to the same television they used. Alright. Alright, that's the end of the video. So see you guys next time. Variation TV, sign off.